Hello. Hi, good morning. I'm sitting outside in the park. It's a dog park, so there's tons of people outside. But look at it, it's so nice out. It's really nice and crisp and foggy this morning. It's beautiful. I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I was gonna say Illinois again. This is the second time recording this. The first time got cut off, so I'm a little bit more rehearsed this time, I guess. But most of my videos aren't gonna be edited, at least. So, but this is a take two. But hi, I'm Orin. This is probably going to be the first of not a lot of videos, but a weird string of them probably. Just talking, just me sharing thoughts and feelings while I'm just sitting outside, enjoying being outside in nature. And yeah, it is a little crisp, so I am wearing my jacket. I got a little sweater on underneath, but it is nice being outside. I recently, within this year, 2025, around August, I was going through a lot of things, and I was coming to this pivotal moment, I guess you could say, in my life, where I had to make a change and I had to do something, or else I was just gonna keep like spiraling out and slowly imploding. And I really wasn't happy for last couple years. Just a lot of things just kept piling on top of each other, just different things, but they all just kept adding up. And I really didn't deal with a lot of my emotions and stuff very well. I would just like suppress a lot and just medicate and distract, but all those things weren't helping anymore. And then you add on top of that just all the goofy ass stupid stuff that's happening with the government and just the other political powers around the world, all the struggle that we're having and stuff. Things suck right now. It sucks. It is a shared sentiment. Things suck. If you don't think things suck, you're one of the lucky ones. Things suck for everyone. And we're all just trying to find some resemblance of happiness and, you know, joy in all this crap. How little it be. I'm right now sitting in a park, as I like to do. I put a pin in that other part. I moved into my truck, like I said, in August because I just had to make a change, and I was tired of life and the way I was living my life. And I've always loved being outside. I've always loved being on the road. I always kind of actually dreaded coming back home. Whenever I was on my way back home from anywhere, it would always get like this gnawing feeling in my stomach, like, damn, now I gotta go back to this. I gotta go back to working for somebody else and not enjoying my time and wasting most of my life paying somebody else's bills and barely making satisfying my own demands and needs and stuff and cost of living and just joy. So like I had to do something, and so I moved into my truck and I just took off for the road. I started renting out my house, which I was lucky enough to own a house that I could rent out. It's not for much. I'm renting it to a friend until she pays it off, so it's like rent to own kind of thing. So really, I sold a house that I'm slowly getting paid for, I guess you could say, over time, which isn't much. It's like $800 a month. It's a good penny, but mostly I just save that for like emergencies and repairs. So, and then I do a bunch of other stuff on the road to make money. But I had to do something to reclaim my happiness and my joy and do something that I can actually say I enjoy doing and waking up doing and going to bed doing. I, since I've done this, do not worry about the things I used to worry about. I am so much more freer in the mind and the body. I don't worry about having to pay for a bunch of nonsense, and I don't have to worry about where my paycheck's going. I don't even have like a job like that. Like I said, I just do the rental thing, which is good. It's only $800, so it's not very much, but I do a bunch of other little work, and the little work is enough to get gas and food, and that's really all I need, because I sit outside and I just play with my magic cards. I bring all my stuff. I deck build. I talk to people. You probably saw a little bowl in the corner. I smoke a little bit while I'm outside and stuff, and just hang out. make friends while I'm outside and, just do my own thing and just enjoy being outside. It's nice. This is beautiful. It's nice. I may look bundled up, but it is a beautiful, nice, crisp morning, and it's chilly, but it's nice. I'm from Massachusetts, so like this is nothing. I don't even know what the temperature is out here right now. It's probably not even 40 degrees. It's probably like somewhere around 50 or so. Oh, the dogs are angry. But yeah, I don't know why I wanted to start this video really. I've been holding off releasing a video for a long time, but as I'm sitting in this park and I was just sitting here looking at my magic cards, I was watching other videos on YouTube and I thought, oh hi, hello, hi big guy, hello, hello, oh hi, I've made a friend, hello, hello. Oh, aren't you the bestest? Aren't you the bestest? Hi. Hi. Yes. Yes. You're joining me for my little video? I have a friend. See, and this is what I love. I don't even know whose dog this is. Hi, and there's another one. Hello. I've made more friends. Hello. Would you like some muffins as well? And there they go. They're off again. I've been thinking about getting a dog or like adopting a dog while I've been on the road just to keep me company. Because I'll listen to podcasts every now and then, and it's nice to like, it's different with dogs. Like I get enough fill from people. People drain my battery, but dogs, like, no matter how much attention they need, I feel like they always just recharge my battery in a way. I just love being around dogs. So like I hang around a lot of like parks where I'll probably run into a bunch of dogs. Like right now there's a ton of them actually. Like there's 2 guys over there and there's like at least 6 more dudes in the field right now. The park is getting definitely more active, but yeah, it's cool. You just get to I hang out. I play Magic in different like LGS stores. That means local game stores for the uninitiated. And I hang out like in national parks and stuff. I go hiking a lot, and I just hang out outside. It feels like this is what I was meant to do my whole life. I've always wished I was like an explorer. That's my Roman Empire for all y'all out there. It's the time where there wasn't so many people, like when there was about maybe 2 billion of us max, and like you could walk for weeks and never find another person. They'd be truly far and few, and that sounds so cool to me. When you can explore the vast wastelands of the world where there's untouched, like you can go a couple miles in any direction, you'll probably find something somewhere that somebody's touched something. You'll find something somewhere. There's very few areas where it's like completely just wilderness, I feel like, anymore. A lot of it's just been, I don't know. Man has left their mark, that is for sure. This video is very rambly. Which all my videos are just going to be really rambly, so if I develop a community from this, I'll be genuinely surprised. You will be the weirdest people, that's for sure. But we'll be friends. Try to hit me up and we can maybe play Magic somewhere. I also play the Pokemon trading card game. Right now I'm building an Eldrazi deck. I'm sure somebody's curious in the comments if anybody watches these videos, because it looks like I have cards set up. You can't tell, I'm just looking at lands right now, what I'm building, so it's kind of funny. Maybe in the next video I'll post what deck it was, or I'll show it off. Maybe I'll do that once a thing. I'll show off a deck I just built. I actually just built this deck earlier. Sorry, I'm gonna block the camera for a split second. Give me a second. My little deck box is right next to my phone, which is all I'm gonna record these videos on. But I just built this deck recently, and this one, you've probably seen it. I keep finding a lot of LGS shops that have pods that just play particularly they're not even good decks or great decks. They're just gross. They're just gross. There's no other way to put it. It's just gross. Okay, so the one I'm building right now is like a tuned down Eldrazi. Oh, damn, I guess I just spoiled it. The one I'm building now is like a tuned down Eldrazi themed deck, but I won't tell you who the commander is. You probably won't expect it. Maybe you will. We'll see. But everybody I keep fighting at these LGS stores, there's always one guy who's playing like the grossest deck, or I'll find a pot of dudes who all want to play a super gross deck. And all my decks are just really good, but nothing is like gross in the sense that it's interacting with my opponents in a vastly negative way. Like stealing your permanents, mass board wipe, mass removal, mass counter spells, you know, mass like things that are fucking with your enemies in a horrendous way is all that I keep running into at these shops lately. So I built Vren. I don't know if you can see him. He's a rat boy. He's a rat boy. This is going to be my third different rat deck. I have built, I think it's, I built a Maronar deck, which was the first one. Maronar. It's a weird name. It's hard to say. Try to say that 5 times fast. Fuck, I can't even say it once. Maronar. It sounds like I'm saying marinara. But Maronar was the first one. And then there was a red, black, green rat that made slugs. I can't remember what his name is, but that was a really fun deck. I had a lot of fun with that one. But Vren says for a blue, black, and 2, he's a rat rogue 3/4 who has ward 2. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature gets 1/1 for each other rat you control, where X is the number of creatures your opponents control that were exiled this turn. And it happens at everybody's end step. So the whole deck is just removal spells. It's just like literally 20 destroy spells and then a bunch of like ways to cast sorceries that also like force enemies to sacrifice spells or creatures and stuff like that. And hi. And or people walk by. Yeah, that force them to sack opponent's creatures or just destroy their opponent's creatures. It's just I'm just gonna be removing. You just don't get a board. That's the theme of it. If everybody wants to keep doing all this fuckery, my whole deck is just gonna be removal spells. That's it. Good luck. Have fun. It's black blue, so you bet your ass there's also like 8 counter spells, 20 removal spells that are just like hard destroy or minus XX creatures. And then I put a bunch of other rat synergies and token synergies and sack synergies for like pinging and stuff. So it's just it's just a horrendous deck. It's the finest tune. It's just nothing but pure. Every card says the same thing basically, and they all just repeat the same thing. They're just gonna drain my opponents while also making it so that none of them have creatures. And then none of them have graveyards because all their creatures get exiled when they die. So I hope you didn't like that or were planning on playing a graveyard deck because, sorry, you don't get that now. And then it's black, so I also have a lot of things that like exile target opponent's graveyard. And just in case I didn't get everything, yeah, I'm going for everything. So that's Vren. It's gross. And I'm coming for you if you're going to play a gross deck. You're going to play Sephiroth, bro? You're going to play Kefka, bro? Vren coming out. He's joining us. Oh no, what was this other gross one I was playing against? Like Valgavothi type shit, Gontes. Yeah, all that shit. Vren's coming for next completely. And then this is a tuned down Eldrazi, so like fuck it. I can't hold it back. I'm gonna just say it. So like, and not that this is turning into like a Magic video. I don't know what this is supposed to be. No, yeah, I'll hold that off for now then. I'll hold that off for now. It's just a tuned down Eldrazi. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. But yeah, come hang out with me at your local LGS. Go on a hike with me or something like that. I'm very accessible. I'll probably post like my social handles in the descriptions of these videos going forward, just to make it easy for everybody to like find me across platforms. I post a lot more stuff on Instagram. Just the goodies, which everyone's Instagram is all that. It's just the goodies. That's all anybody ever posts on Instagram. But my Snapchat does have the gems. I post, whenever I go out, I post a decent amount on Snapchat as well. Sorry, I'm watching the dogs play. So feel free to follow me on those and, you know, stay tuned to the journey or whatever. But yeah, I've just been trying to enjoy life and reclaim unlock some bit of myself and find myself. I didn't know a lot of things about myself until I started doing this. Um, and, it's just been interesting finding new things out every other day, and different limits to things that I can handle, different things. Somebody's a little active today. um, you know, Different boundaries that I didn't realize I had before, because apparently my bubbles were a little bit more closed than I thought they were, and my views were a little bit more closed than I thought they were. I thought I was more open-minded, but I wasn't until I came out here that I had to really and meet so many different people who think so differently. Like, you have to really open your mind, because some people have such polarizing views. I mean, just take our fucking government, for example. Those people can't agree on shit except how to fuck over the American public. That's the only thing they can seem to agree on. But yeah, I was fucking tired of all of it. I'm still fucking tired of all of it. No King's Day. That was yesterday. And I drove through the protest, honking and stuff, cheering my support and whatnot. And like, I drove back and forth through it, just like honking the whole time, just like, making some noise, joining everybody in that sense. I was also doing DoorDash, so it just helps that I was also just in the area. But yeah, No King's Day was yesterday, and that was nice. That was cool. I'm glad to see that a lot of people are angry and do want change. But 7 million across the country is not enough. There's 350 million of us here. The population of people who are fucking up this country is less than 1%. 7 million, I think that literally is still more than the amount of people who are fucking up this country, and that still doesn't even come close to the amount of people we need to actually bring this to a real movement. This is, at this point, still just talk. This is fluff. This is just a walk in the park. We're not doing anything. These people have us by the balls. We are so fucked unless we start doing something now. We need to all stop going to work. Why is everyone so fucking angry at their job? Everyone hates their job. There's like literally less than the amount of people I can count on my per hand that actually enjoy their work. And even the people who enjoy their work, the company they work for, are still so goddamn profit driven that there's definitely things that they can pick and choose out of their job that they wish they could change, but they can't because of, again, bottom lines and fucking political agendas and ideologies. It sucks. Though I wish that things can change. I know all things need to change. I don't wish they can change. They need to change. We need them to change if we're going to move forward as a society. Right now, I can't imagine how we can keep digressing like this for longer than another couple months. How? What are we supposed to do once toilet paper reaches like $50 for a 4-pack, and toothpaste costs $12 for a 4-ounce tube? Like, when shit starts really skyrocketing, like, they keep bringing back prices here and there and pushing other things up and then pushing other things down and moving the prices around to circumvent whatever people are buying up right now. Let's put the price of that up more, lower these prices of things that people don't actually care about until they can fluctuate. It's just bullshit. It's a rat race. It's a game, and I don't want any part of it. We should not want any part of it. Like, fuck Walmart and Dollar Generals and all those other stores that kicked out small town businesses and mom and pop shops and places where like everybody in town had to know that place because that was one of the places where they can find their stuff. Like, now you can get everything at a Walmart, whereas you used to have to go to specific places to get specific things. And sure, it's nice to have convenience, but when convenience kills any kind of community whatsoever, it takes away from the point, which is that we're all supposed to be doing this shit together. And we couldn't be so far from connected right now. Like, and this is exactly what they want. They want us to be as disconnected as possible, pointing fingers at each other when we should be looking at the real problem, which is why does anybody have over X amount of money, period? We used to literally, as human beings, behead the people who would do this type of shit that we're just allowing now. It's crazy. It's absurd. And I'm not saying that it has to come to that, but we can definitely overthrow all of our electoral buildings 100%. If the entire city population of every given town surrounded their city hall, there's not enough cops on payroll. There's not enough people in the military that they can disperse all over the country at the same time. All we have to do is just literally go into office and say, you guys are no longer, no, you all can leave. You're dismissed for the day. You no longer, yeah, we're removing you from office. We elect them into office. These people are all chosen to be there by us. So if we don't want them to be there, we can say, we literally all can just walk up to the building and just be like, okay, so none of you are doing what we asked, and you're all fucking it up, actually. So get out. We're gonna talk shop for the next for probably a week or so, maybe a month, and have everybody come in on city hall meetings for, even 10-hour, 12-hour day panels until we figure out how the fuck we're gonna run this shit in a better way that benefits everybody and not just a few people. This shit's fucked up. We have more than enough resources, more than enough infrastructure, more than enough wealth, more than enough manpower. We have more than enough of everything to go around. There is no reason why we should be living this way, why anyone should be forced to come to breaking points like I have, where I just can't imagine spending the rest of my life doing what I was doing before, because I just felt like an indentured slave at that point. Like, spending 40 hours of your living week, like, as little as that sounds, when you add up the total amount of hours per week, you spend, again, a third of that time sleeping, which you need to do to remain healthy, and you should spend at least an X amount of that time collectively is spent eating, should be doing somewhat little exercise, hobbies, hanging out with friends. There's so much time, like cooking and eating, like, it takes a long time if you're gonna cook and eat a meal. It doesn't take like 2 seconds. The shit takes like an hour or two, depending on what you're cooking. It take all fucking day. So like, and then like, people only used to work like 2-3 hours, 4 max in a given day, like a long time ago, when like working was like a thing and there was like actual jobs, not like slaves, like real workers. They'd only work for a couple hours a day, eat for a little bit, take a nap, maybe go back out, do a couple hours of more work just to get prepared for the next day and get a head start on it, just to make it easy for themselves. But that was what work and life was like. And then they got to relax, hang out with friends, hang out with family, have time for things. And they got taxed on very few things. We are taxed on everything. How did we go from the Tea Party to this? Our ancestors are rolling in their graves. There's no would be. They are literally pissing themselves. Like, we wouldn't put up with half the shit you guys are putting up with right now. We would have shot everybody in the presidential office. We would have burned the White House down. They literally threw all the tea in the harbor, sank ships, cut off heads. Like, every other point in history has never gotten to this point that we're at right now, where we're like, this shit's fucked. Like, and they're rounding people up and throwing them in Gestapo. They have Gestapos rounding people up and throwing them in gulags and shit. And sure, that's not what they're calling it today, but that's what they are. That's what they've always historically been. They're militarized forces rounding people up and throwing them in concentration camps, gulags, whatever you want to call it. It's the same shit, just different name, different age, different era, same shit though. History repeating itself once more, except America, who's always supposed to be perpetuated as the hero, is now the villain. And we have to do something about this. We can't. Hi, hello, hi, hello. I have another little friend. Hello, hi. Aren't you a little cutie? Hello. See, I love hanging out at dog parks. Hello. Got another little guy over here. He only one left, but yeah, they're cute. Yeah. I love hanging out at dog parks. Hi, cutie. Yeah, I probably want to get a guy like him. He's a good, like, medium-sized dog, where he's not like, yeah, that guy. He's not too big, he's not too small, because my truck I don't know if I can reverse the camera while no, I don't think so. But my truck, it's over there. It's the Tacoma, the tan one with the black top. It's the only truck over there. That's my truck. So it's pretty small. I'm a small guy. I'm only like 6'8", roughly. 7.5, 8, whatever. I round out. I say 8. I only weigh about $110, $115 on a good day. Maybe $120 on a really good day. But yeah, I'd probably get like a little Australian Shepherd, little guy, something like that. Medium size, nice amount of fur on him, so he can stay warm during the winter. I wouldn't want to get something that's gonna need like a jacket or a sweater. I'd probably put one on them anyway, but it's neither here nor there. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video and just hang out, do some deck building, and just talk for a little bit and share a bit about myself and my journey, that and where it's taken me so far. It's been an interesting one. I've been having a hell of a lot of fun. I've made a lot of really cool friends. I've seen a lot of really cool places, places I would have never seen probably if I'd still been doing what I'm doing now. I used to like plan like 2 really big trips a year, or maybe 1 really, really big trip a year, but that sucks. That sucks. I love being outside. I love being in nature. I love being connected to the ground. Even though it's cold outside, I'm still barefoot, baby. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I like to actually feel the ground beneath my feet, and I like to feel the dirt and the sand beneath my toes. I don't know. I love being outside. I've always been a nature boy. I was born in Massachusetts and raised in Boston, but like the second I got my license, I bought some beater ass car. I bought a couple beater ass cars on Craigslist, and I drove all around like New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, like the more woodsier parts of like New England. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I still need 3 more lands, so that's perfect. I thought I was going to actually have too many lands over here, but that's actually not bad. I could probably put in some City's Blessing stuff, and then I'm thinking I could probably, it actually feels, it's only misting, but I don't know if it actually might rain. My cards are starting to condensate, actually. Hi, beautiful. Hi. Hello. Aren't you the most special dog? Hi. Hello. I wish I had a snack for you. Hi. Oh, hi.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I don't mind the company. Yeah. That one almost wanted to jump on my lap. Animals love me. Bugs love me. I've been told by a lot of people I have a really positive, inviting aura. I'm not that big a hippie. I like to think I can pick up on like good vibes and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go and see like your aura and the mystical vibes of it all. But I am very open and receptive to people who are like that. I love people who are like that. They're actually my favorite people to interact with because they're just so interesting. I love the insight. I've never been somebody who feels like super in touch with the mystic. So like if somebody feels like they are, I'd love to know what their insight is and what their opinions and feelings are like, you know. It's always good to absorb as much as you can from as many people as you can without allowing that information to take over you, change you, or like there's the saying, take things with a grain of salt or something like that, or something along those lines. I wouldn't say take everything with a grain of salt, but like take everything with like a little bite, just a little nibble, like a little wine sample, a little sipple. Do a little thing with put it up to your nose, take a little sipple of it, little taste test. Yeah, I'm a big dork. Sorry, don't mind me. But yeah, like you wanna hear what people have to say and interpret from that what you can and what is best for you, you know. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think that's a really good thing, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Both of these can be mana color fixing, because the deck is going to be 5 color. It's not going to be colorless Eldrazi. That's That probably gives away a little bit more of the deck than I want it to, but that's okay. I don't mind. You know what? I'll add a command tower. Fuck it. Why not? My commander is a Wooburg commander, obviously, if it's going to be all colors. So, but yeah. I like to start, I don't know how you guys like to deck build, but I always start off by, I put aside how many lands and how many mana pieces I think I'm going to want in each deck. So right now, this one has, I want to say it is about, I'm going to cover my cards for now, just because, yeah, the mist is starting to kind of condensate on things. So I'm going to cover those, and I'm actually going to cover my box here too, just for now. But I think this has 38 lands, I want to say, in it. I like to say, I used to do 32, and then I don't know what it's very crazy, because this is a loaded question, yeah. How many lands do you guys put in your decks on average? Or do you go, like, based on the type of deck, how many lands you would put in there? I think optimizing how many lands you put, depending on what kind of deck you're playing and what you're going for and what the curve is probably a better way to strategize. But lately, I've just been putting, like, about 45 pieces of ways that I can get mana on board, whether that be ramp or mana rocks or raw lands, but a collective of about 45. So a little under 50% of the deck is some way of getting mana on board. But about, usually lately I've been going with about 38 lands in each deck. 36 to 38, I feel like that's a good healthy number. Anything less than that feels a bit greedy and runs too many high likely chances of not getting the right colors. And I rarely play monocolored decks. I'm very much, my brain's too big. Sorry to monocolor player decks, or monocolor players, monocolor deck players. Yeah, there you go. English is hard. But I very much so like a multicolored deck. I like to be able to utilize the different, elements and the different things that they can do and stuff like that, and the different parts of the color pie. It's just fun. 38, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, this one's not for this deck. This is for a different deck. So yep, 45. So 45 mana pieces. And so yeah, but also a lot of the decks I've been playing lately, especially because I play mostly Commander, and Commander, it's just funny playing big spells, big splashy, clunky, inefficient spells in any other scenario that just, if it wasn't Commander, it would never work, and I love those. I have a Saruman deck. Hold on. I don't know if you just want to see. These are the only commanders I'm playing right now. I have like 12, I think. These are the guys I'm playing right now. Vren, who you've already seen. He's my rat. He's my new boy. Tetsuo, the Imperial champion. He's amazing. He also cares about really big CMC spells. He cares about how big the mana value of the equipment that is attached to him is. And based on that, he can either deal damage or play spells for free. Celis, the Rune Knight, who's probably one of my stronger decks right now. She's a reanimator. I just chain a bunch of spells, like creatures that say when this creature enters, return a creature, and then it just keeps going back and forth. And then for each creature that enters, all of them get 1/1 counters. So you hit 1, you hit 5, and then all of them are getting like +5, and crazy numbers. And then there's just ways to give them all haste and just send them around the board. And then a lot of them just have other interesting ETB effects and just funny stuff. I recently rebuilt Sisay, the Weatherlight Captain, who's flavored as Princess Buttercup from The Princess Bride. One of my favorite cards. One of the earliest cards I ever bought in Magic, actually. Like, single cards. I bought this online, and I was like, I bought this at a store, and I bought one of the other ones online. But I thought this was one of the coolest cards, because I had just watched Princess Bride, like, the year before, and I fell in love with that movie, and I was like, this is perfect! And I built this around Shrines and Gods. So, which I thought was fun. Just like it's all about devotion to colors and, like I said, just gods, enchantments, and really just enchantments because all the gods are enchantments, and then all the shrines are enchantments. So it's really an enchantress deck flavored as gods and their pantheons, which I thought was really fun. And I like put whenever I have like a shrine down for each color, and if I have gods of those colors, I'll put them like on the same side with the shrine. Like this is their shrine. The shrine of Aetherios is also like the shrine of whatever that's black that pings people. It's just funny. It's a fun concept and theme. Baitor, I think is probably my actual strongest deck. This is the one that says like at the beginning of your end step. He's a 3/5 flying lifelink, by the way. At the beginning of your end step, for the amount of life you gained, put that many 1/1 counters on a single creature, and for the amount of life you lost, return a creature with lesser CMC than that amount to the battlefield. Just return him. So he's a graveyard life gain reanimate. So he's a reanimator life gain deck, and everything has like flying lifelink and death touch. It's just a gross deck. It's a gross deck. It can't be stopped. I call it the comeback kid because it just keeps going. Ellie and Alan is one of my favorite cards also. This is also one of the first few cards I bought online. This one I bought online, along with a couple other of the Jurassic Park cards, because I loved Jurassic Park. And I got into this because I started playing Lord of the Rings, and yes, I am a Universes Beyond player. I know, sue me. My next deck is Indoraptor and literally Saruman. So like I know I'm a Universes Beyond player. I got into Magic because I love the idea of taking a bunch of different IPs and making them into like this big random universe that you can play literally anything with. Like I think it's funny that you can have SpongeBob on the same field with Deadpool, in the same field with a Ninja Turtle, on the same field with a Transformer, on the same field with a Furby, on the same field with like that all sounds so funny and goofy and clunky. Like you're telling me that frickin' Spider-Man's gonna kill the Avatar later on this year? You're gonna tell me that Doctor Strange is gonna crew what is it? The Death Star when they do like a Star Wars crossover eventually? Like it's gonna be so funny. I love it. I love it. I love all of it. The Universes Beyond is so funny to me. Um, like exactly, like just these guys alone, just being in the deck. So Ellie and Alan though, is the first one of the first commanders I bought online. I didn't realize how unique blue, white, and green is as a graveyard deck. This is a graveyard deck. A lot of my decks are graveyard decks. I just realized between Baitor, Celis, and Ellie. Actually, these are the only ones I have right now that are graveyard decks. But a lot of my other ones were graveyard decks. But they care about exiling creatures out of your own graveyard and discovering for the CMC of those spells. So again, big CMC. Big CMC. Let's get to the next one. Saruman of the White Hand. He cares about, again, the CMC of non-creature spells you play, and he amasses an orc army that is XX, however much that spell cost. And then he gives orcs Ward 2. Just a fun flavor text on top of it. Indoraptor. This is, I know, I don't know if I said it earlier, but I built Vren because I wanted to compete with mean people. Indoraptor kinda is a bit of like an arch enemy level mean deck in the sense that like it can kill people in like 3 or 4 turns. It's just random though. Like I have cards that I can use to manipulate the effect, but I can't really do as much in the early game other than just deal a mass amount of damage to one player at random. But he has Bloodthirst X if you don't know what he does. Bloodthirst says when he enters the battlefield, he enters with X 1/1 counters, where X is the number of total damage all of your opponents took this turn. So if you're playing in a 4-pod commander game and you have 3 opponents and you play Bolt Wave, 1 red for 3 damage to each opponent, that's 9 damage. So he enters with 9 1/1 counters for 1 mana. 9 1/1 counters. And he only costs 3. He costs 3. And one of them is a hybrid black-green pip. So, like, it's really a red, a 1, and a whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. So, like, but yeah, and I like to play it in, like, if I'm playing with a 5-man pod. Oh, it's so much funnier when I'm playing in, like, a big pod. Like, I've played with this in, like, groups of 6 or 7. Bro. I'm talking killing people on turn 3 at that point, because if I get any of my ramp pieces on board, like it's a green deck, so I do have like rampant growth and other things like that to get some fast mana out there. If I can get the fast mana spells out there and I have a couple spells in my hand, at least two of which can deal 1 damage to my creature, like a lightning effect or whatever. Any amount of damage, it doesn't really matter how much, but at least as long as I have enough to cast him for 3 and then play 4 other spells, so about 7 mana, which is, it's a lot, but I can get that out by about turn 3 or 4, like I said. Turn 4 usually is about when it happens, but by turn 4 somebody's getting hit by a lot, because you hit the table for, actually no, just by turn, yeah, 4, because if I have at least one spell that says, because usually by turn 3 most people will have a creature, maybe, or not, they might have just been ramping or playing like sideboard pieces trying to build up um, their their board state before they start playing other things, and they just had different resources they wanted to play and they don't have creatures yet. This creature also has menace and enrage, so whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage at random, or it deals damage equal to its power at random to an opponent. So you have to like roll a die, assigning a number to each player, and then whoever gets hit. For as big as this creature is, he just has to be hit by anything, any damage. So you bolt wave for 3, play him. That's 4 mana, and then play one thing like Rile. It does 1 damage to a target creature you control and draws you a card for 1. Great card. Hits him from 1. And then we roll the dice. And if you can't sacrifice a non-token creature, you just take that damage. But you do have an out. You can sacrifice a non-token creature. Most of the time it's people's commander, which feels so bad. So bad. Like, especially the guy, because it's at random, and sometimes it'll land on the one dude who just got his commander back after it got removed, or maybe he just played it the turn prior to mine, and now he's like, well, I guess I don't want to get hit for 13 right off rip, because he's a 3 power creature off rip. So if I hit the table for 9 damage, it comes in with 9/1/1 counters, making him a 12/10, because he's a 3/1. But still 12 damage to the face, and it's Indoraptor dealing it. So like I have other things that give him like lifelink. So like I can gain a ton of life in this deck also. But it's brutal in that effect that it's just ramp and how many burn spells I can just play at the table. And then after he's on the field, I have ways to give him like indestructible and stuff, and like prevent him from being like hurt by like Tamio's safe, because he's green. It's black green. So there's like a bunch of black spells that are cheap that give indestructible. There's a bunch of green spells that give hexproof and indestructible. So I just have a bunch of ways to just keep him on board and just keep hitting him for damage. And I have other things like Seedboard Muse and Wilderness Reclamation, so I can just keep untapping and just keep hitting him for more damage on other people's turns. It's not okay. It's a funny deck. I love it, but it's not okay. I rarely play it. Even in smaller pods of like 4, like a normal pod, it's still good and it's still funny to play. I just love it so much. This is turning into like an hour-long video. I'm so surprised, actually. But I know it's because I'm rambling on about Magic and other things. But I'll show you my last deck. It's the Prismatic Bridge. I just built this one not too long ago. It just says at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards until you hit a creature or a planeswalker and put it in play. Pretty simple. That's all it says. It's Wooburg mana, so 1 of each color. And yep, that's all it does. And it's an enchantment. It's not a creature. So it's kind of hard for a lot of people to remove or counter, because there's no like counter enchantment spell. There's only counter target spell, or usually creature spell, or instant or sorcery spell. So it has its own kind of like evasion in that sense. And then the deck is all planeswalkers. It's my planeswalker party, which is dumb strong for no reason. Like, it just, I don't know why it's so good, but it's so good. And it runs about 25 planeswalkers, and I'm able to get a lot of them out pretty easily, pretty cheaply, pretty freely, and pretty quickly. And a lot of them aren't even that expensive, and they all do so many funny things, and they all have such gross ultimates that it's like, well, if you just let it sit there on the battlefield and you keep going for my health, you'll regret it later when I ultimate off, and then I now completely turn the tables. So it's really like a clock. How fast can you kill me while I'm playing that deck before I can ultimate all of my planeswalkers? Or you just keep stalling and killing planeswalkers or knocking their loyalty down dirtily while I keep just gaining incremental value off all the other things that's going on my board. So it, like, I keep telling people when I play it, hit me, not the walkers, because you're not, it doesn't matter if you keep killing my planeswalkers. My commander gets me free ones. There's only, like, I think 10 creatures in the whole deck, so I majority hit just planeswalkers. So I get a free planeswalker every turn if you don't remove my commander, and you can keep removing my commander. The whole deck is really ramp heavy because all the not all, but like half the planeswalkers are pretty expensive, and then a lot of the combo pieces for them can be expensive. So it ramps really hard. So I'm just gonna keep recasting my commander, and then I take second upkeeps all the time. So like I'll always get at least 1-2 free planeswalkers a turn. You can keep removing them; they'll just keep coming back. And then I have mass planeswalker recursion and other ways to get specific target cards out of my graveyard. It just doesn't matter if you kill my planeswalkers. If you target my life, it'll be you'll have a higher chance of winning against me. I was playing against this guy yesterday who had an Ishtola deck. I don't remember exactly what Ishtola does, but it did pinging things and drawing card stuff. And he was really close to winning until and he kept targeting my planeswalkers. And I told him, like, you could have won like 2 turns ago if you just kept targeting my health, but you kept going for the blockers, and he died. He couldn't keep up. My walkers ultimated off. I was able to combo, I think, Elspeth, Ajani, and Liliana. And Liliana was making me a lot of zombies and returning creatures from my graveyard and making them zombies. And because every time I used my creatures as a blocker, because I had regular creatures in my commander too, I think I had a different creature that I was using as a backup commander. I'd let them get knocked out, go to the graveyard. Liliana would recur them. Ajani, his thing upticks other people's loyalties, and Elspeth makes it so that my creatures at the end, when she ultimates, all get +2/+2 and flying permanently as an emblem, just all forever. And Liliana, because I kept recurring all my creatures, and she makes every creature she recurs a zombie in addition to their types, my board, her last ultimate, which I'd never see people use, destroys all non-zombies. My whole board was zombies, technically, even though only, like, I really had just a couple zombie tokens and a bunch of other non-zombie creatures that just had additional zombie typing. So I blew up all his board, and then I just swung in and killed him. And he really... He could have won before that. He could have done, not won, but like he could have stopped all of that so much sooner if he had just kept targeting my life. But he kept wanting to do this other thing and like trying to remove my planeswalkers and kill a Johnny because he was afraid of a Johnny's ultimate or this creature's ultimate. It's like, you're going to be afraid of 27 different planeswalkers ultimates if you keep worrying about every single card in my library's ultimate. Focus on the goal of the game, which is killing players, not planeswalkers. So... just a little tidbit if you ever sorry for that little rant, if you ever go up against a Super Friends deck, the key to killing a Super Friends deck is to not worry about the actual planeswalkers, just kill the player, fuck the planeswalker. That's it. Plus, most of my planeswalkers anyway made so many blockers that it's like, no one could really find a good way in to attack me unless they had flyers. And then even if they had flyers, like I had so many other ways to like, I'm not dumb. I put a bunch of like creatures in the deck that also fly, so like that are cheap to pop out, or I have planeswalkers that make me flyers. So it's like no matter what, I will always have a blocker for everything you're throwing at my planeswalkers, or my health. I guess really the whole point of you just want to kill me as soon as you can. I don't know. Oh, I felt really bad about it actually, because I was playing at this LGS the other day, and me and this one guy who been like matching up in pods like frequently and stuff whenever I play at this one shop, I love playing with him because all his decks are really strong and they're really different, they're really unique, and he's just like a really good player too. He's really knowledgeable. He's an older player, not older in the sense of age, but he's been playing Magic a long time. He's an elder Magic player, and truly an elder Dragon Highlander. And oh, the park cleared out. None of the dogs are here anymore. No, it's just me by myself again. That's the funny part about being outside too for long extended periods of time, is that so many people come and go. It's so weird. I'm like, I'm out here for so long, and then everybody else is just like, oh, I'm gonna sit outside for half a second. I mean, it is kind of chilly, but like, it's so nice. It's so nice. I love it. But yeah, I was playing at this LGS the other day, and this other guy, his decks, they're good, but they're also, he's one of the reasons why I built Vren. Is just like his decks are also gross. Like he was doing, just for reference, the game that I'm gonna refer to a reference to that just went so bad towards the end. These two poor people scooped, both of them scooped in the middle of our game because they were like, we don't want to deal with whatever both of you are doing, me and him. Mostly him. He was doing like reanimator stuff, and the one of the cards he kept looping was Toxrill. And I understand how Toxrill can make a game unpleasant for players. Sorry, I smoke cigarettes. Puts 1/1 counter, -1 counters on everybody's creatures, potentially killing them every single turn, and then giving him a bunch of slugs. I get it, it sucks. If you're playing a token deck, it probably stops you from doing whatever you're doing with your tokens, because it's going to kill your tokens every single turn. And him reanimating it and looping it over and over again, like they removed it like 3 times, both of them, and they just were running out. They knew they didn't have any more removal spells in their deck to deal with it again if it came back up. And if they came back up, there was no way they thought that they could win. And I'm sitting there, and then I'm discarding them because I'm playing Kefka. I know, I have a Kefka deck too. I just built that one not too long ago. Mine's not as bad as I've seen other people's, but it's still making other people discard cards. My version, though, makes you draw cards. So you're discarding cards, but I'm going to also force you to draw more cards. So I'm just making you wheel your hand over and over and over again until you run out of cards, basically. That's just the way I'm running it. So it's not super bad. It gives people a chance to at least dig through their deck to get answers. But, yeah. But before I could get my draw pieces in play, I was discarding them. So they're just getting hands discarded. They're running out of answers to deal with Toxrill. I don't mind Toxrill because all my creatures are tough enough to deal with it for a couple turns, and I can keep I had many removal spells left in my deck. I was fine. And Kai and I are just duking it out, and they're just getting after like catastrophic casualties of war over here and collateral damage, and they just were not having fun, and they scooped, and then they had to like be like, so we don't think we can play with you guys. And we were just like, what are you, what why? And they were like, we love you guys as people, like you guys are cool as fuck, but like your decks, every time we play with you guys, it's too much to deal with. It's too hard to go up against. It's just, I have to think too hard. I have to critically try to deal with everything you're doing to give myself a chance. And it's like, damn, it sucks being good, I guess. I don't know. Because my decks don't really, like, other than Kefka and like maybe one other deck, a lot of my decks don't really interact with your board that much. My deck is built on, like, a lot of my decks are built to be very self-sufficient and very high synergy just in the cards that I play. So like, I don't really care what other people are doing. I can, no matter how many times you remove my board, I'm probably going to be just fine. That's also why I like reanimator decks. It's just like I get to play with my graveyard and I get to play with my deck. Even if you Bajuka Bog me, unless you milled half my library before you did it, like, I'm still going to be just fine. And then even then, I'm still not gonna scoop. Like, I've never played a game where I've wanted to scoop. I've only played with people that have made me want to scoop, but I've never played against a deck that I'm like, damn, I can't do anything against that deck. I'm just gonna pack up. I hate that. And we tried to convince them, like, no, don't scoop. Like, what if I don't reanimate this? What if I just stop reanimating this? And they're like, it's just, everything else you're reanimating too is just, it's too much. Everything, we were just like, damn, wow. Like, every time we try to come up with a solution to like see if we can like make the experience better for them, they were just like, they just gave us pushback, and they were just like, no, it's just not fun to play with you guys. And we were just like, damn, that feels bad. Which is why I'm building a tuned down Eldrazi deck. still gonna be potential to, like, all my decks are gonna have the potential to win. I want to win. I also want to have fun, but I don't win at the detriment of other people's experience. So, like, for them to say that to me too, they were saying more towards the other guy just because the cards he had were directly impacting their board states more than anything. But the cards I was playing were still like just too much of a board for them to ever answer. Like no matter, there wasn't enough board wipes they could play to stop what I was doing, essentially. Um, and yeah, I mean I get it. I felt bad, but I don't remember why I went down that tangent with. But this video is going on about an hour. I still have yet to like really get deep into my cards. I was waiting till the condensation started to lift a little bit so I can start looking into them, but it hasn't. So I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while and enjoy being outside. But I'll let you guys go. I will wrap this video up though by saying, hi cutie, hi, hello. I will wrap this video up though by saying that, you know, if you're, hi. If you're like me and you're feeling like all this chaos around you, all this negativity, all this corruption, all this toxicity in our communities and stuff is getting to you as well, and you feel like you can't escape, know that you can. Know that we all can. Know that we have it in our power to make a difference. Know that we have it in our power to make a change. The only thing that is stopping us is the fear that they've instilled in us over generations, that if we don't conform to the system, that we don't give in to the structure that was written for us, not by us but for us, then we will suffer major consequences. We will, like, I'm poor and I'm happy. I don't have stuff and I'm happy. Like, I have minimal things. I have my hobbies and I have my things and my niches, and I enjoy a couple other things, and I can do all the things I enjoy without having to spend an arm and a leg and donate my kidneys to survive and all this other stuff. We can do this. I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, if everybody like withdrawed all their cash in their bank accounts, the banking system would collapse overnight because it doesn't have enough money to cover the amount of money, because it's all just a bunch of digitals, ones and zeros, that they're, inflating on their system to make it look like they have more money than they do, but they don't, because it's all really based on a ratio of numbers and a total amount of collateral, which is not real money. It's just fake bullshit. So if we all took out all our money, we would close the banking system. If we all stopped going to work for 1 week, all of us, except for like obviously like healthcare people, the entire country would come to a standstill. Everything would come to a complete grind, a halt, and they would have to roll over backwards in answer to us. They would have to. And it just takes 1 week, one movement, one real movement. Because right now we don't have a movement. We have people walking. We need people running. We need people charging headfirst into like I said, their Capitol buildings, their state buildings, and demanding that that those people leave office, and that we change things and we go back to making things the way they were, and for the people. Not just for a small population, not just for the boomers, not just for the wealthy, not just for the CEOs, not just for select numbers, for everybody. We can do this. No, we can. You are not alone. You are not weak. We are strong, and we are strongest together. We need to come together. Bring your friends, bring your family, and we can do this. We can do this. And hey, if anything, fuck it, move into your car and join me in the woods. Love you guys. Have a good day.